Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call home. What's good, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Little different time we got today. A little different time slot. Normally we're around that lunch hour. Today, we're switching it up. We're switching it up because we have some of my favorite peoples on. One of my favorite people on. The other person is going to be recovering, getting that voice back right. But without further ado, as you see in the top corner, you see the Avantis logo. That means one thing. That means we have the one and only, my main man, my bearded brother, my Jay from another mama, Moonshot. What's good, brother? How you doing,
What
Justin?
is happening? How you doing?
Doing good.
How you
doing good. Doing good, brother.
Man,
Having
that intro. I was getting classic movie vibes there. I was digging it.
Yeah, that is Crypto Clip Shane hooked me up with that bad boy. He does a great job. Anything like that is either Crypto Clip Shane or Shotgun.
Yeah. There's a lot of talented people in this space. It's not even a question, and they seem to pop out of nowhere. And once they make themselves known, it's incredible to get to know them.
Absolutely, especially when you see them start, like when they go like Shotgun, like put out a little small video And then like now it's like grown into like this big, like he is shotgun. Like you say shotgun and everybody knows, oh, okay, I know you're talking about.
It's and it's awesome. And he's so talented, and it's funny because he's very humble too, right? So he was
absolutely,
he was always worried, he wasn't sure anyone was going to want to share his stuff, and then all of a sudden, he releases one video, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, we need more."
Facts. It was for me. It was the video of Dubai in March with me and Empire.
That was hilarious.
That whole video, I just crack up, and I cannot find it in my timeline anywhere. So I need to do a deep dive and find that bad boy.
I'm sure he has it here. If not, it's in our Discord.
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, it's so funny.
And you know what's scary too is he did that under 2 hours probably right after we had the AMA, and we were talking then about Dubai, and he's like, "Oh, I got an idea." He just cranks them out.
It was pretty funny because like I don't ever like, I'm a big guy. I get that, 6'4" something, like I get it. But like I don't ever see until I see a picture and I'm like, oh yeah, that I am that much taller than most folks. But that video was hilarious. Had him up on books.
Yeah,
greatness, pure greatness out of shotgun there. But let's do it real quick. Let's check in with the chat real quick, see who's here because they're going crazy over here. We got Crypto John in first, saying first. What's good, brother? Londart in the building. We got blah blah. What is good? Crypto Fap Zero in the building. Hansi, one of those. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Bubba C, what's good? What's good? We running through these. Shakara, how we doing? Miss Sarita in the building. Appreciate you. She always comes in with some positive energy, some positive vibes. So definitely appreciate her.
That's what I'm talking about. Positive vibes.
Every day. It's something like this. Happy Friday, y'all. Wishing you all an awesome day and a safe weekend. Every day. So I definitely appreciate Miss Sarita. She's pretty cool. Pretty cool. LKM Land, what's good? How you doing, ma'am? How you doing? I did hear last night watching the AMA over on Lawn Dart that LKM Land has become a pretty crucial part of the Advantis team.
Absolutely. She's been handling socials for us, been doing an insanely good job. Absolutely been smashing it. And, even today, just before the live stream, she had put out a poll and she's collecting valuable data from us or for us on Twitter, which is awesome.
Absolutely. She's awesome. She has been around from beginning. Like I remember back when like crypto, like the good old days of crypto, even then she was around and being very supportive. So definitely awesome to see her and see her being a part of the team and running that Twitter and doing a heck of a job.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I could do that's for sure. One thing I am terrible at, and I'll admit, is social media. As you know from my Twitter, it's pretty quiet most of the time. But every so often, I'll come out with a nugget of information. But and that's because I've been prompted to by my own insanity of needing to say something sometimes.
Absolutely, I am terrible. Like I feel like I am the most cookie cutter person on. Like everything is like very cookie. I need to step my game up. Gary, what's good, brother? First, I really was. Yeah, YouTube has a weird thing. Like if you comment too early, it deletes it. So you might have been first. You might have been. But what's good? Vine Love in the building. Jesse, how we doing? Justin Ewert, what's good, brother? Another Justin in the building. Always a pleasure.
We're dominating today.
Yeah, especially when we outweigh Matts. Anytime the Justins can outweigh a Matt or like an Eric, I feel like that's a good win.
Absolutely. I'll take it.
Papu, what's good? Right. Mellow Yellow, what's good? Cryptoverse, how we doing? John Godfrey in the building. I feel like we're caught up now. If I skipped you, I apologize. I love you. There's a whole bunch of y'all here today. And let's get into it. Let's get into the Advantis AI, formerly known as the artist, formerly known as Tarp.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all move that.
He's got the Tarp hoodie on. Look at that. That Tarp hoodie has been around the world. That is
literally
that Tarp hoodie has lived a life. It is great.
A good life. And I felt bad because it was piled under the other hoodies. And this hoodie is so much more like well-traveled, well-versed, cultured, I guess you could say.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely have the old school Tarp. I will forever be a Tarpy. There might be a video that gets played here in a little while that that shows my love for the Tarpies.
And honestly, that was absolutely the sentiment. Everyone understood that we needed to change the name to be more professional, but everyone understood that you're always going to be a Tarpy. Like that's not going away.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where like you cheer on a team, and then that team has like a section of the crowd that like has like a special name, like the Rowdy Crowd or like the Dog Pound, or like, you know what, we got the Tarpies. You got Advantis AI. It sounds professional. It looks.
So what
good.
You're saying is we're the cheeseheads of the crypto space.
There you go. there you go. We'll rock with that. I don't know if I can though. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Green Bay fan, but still, they're probably the most well-known group.
Yeah, it's probably that is probably like you put on a block of cheese on your head. You know who they're rooting for.
No, exactly.
There's no questions asked. That is very, very true. But brother, let's get into it, and let's do a little brief intro for of Advantis AI. You know, I've been around it for a long time, but I do know that we have quite a few communities that are coming in. So let's kind of introduce it. And if you want to share your screen, just throw it up there and let me know, and we'll get it on there for.
Well, I'll pop up the utility that we just released so that it's up, so we can see it. StreamYard is awesome for this. By the way, thank you StreamYard for making an amazing tool.
Absolutely.
All right. So first things first, let's kind of catch up because it's been a long time. So last time we talked on stream together, it was TARP, very early days of TARP, in fact, probably right after Dubai, probably. So since then, we've been going through development, obviously. It took about a year and a bit to develop the AI. It was about a year and a month, roughly. But we finally got there. It is now publicly released and usable by the public, which is very, very exciting. And then also we have renamed from TARP to Advantis. And the reason why we did that was we wanted a strong name for marketing, something that would hold up a little bit better than totally a rug pull. And we also moved off the BSC blockchain and moved to the Ethereum chain when the opportunity presented itself. So it was one of those things that we had the chance to do it. So the community was all for it. So we moved from BSC to Ethereum. And with ETH 2.0 and the fees being a little bit lower these days, not the $100 gas fees, you know, it was nice to switch chains and, you know, break ties with anything that's connected to an exchange, as we know this year's been tough on exchanges.
Absolutely. And I got to say, like we talked about a while ago, I will forever be a Tarpy. I will forever rock my TARP hoodie. But when it comes to being professional, looking professional, there really does have to have that kind of aura around you and create that professional look. That way, when you walk into a business meeting, you actually have it's not more of like, you know, you're walking in with like some cargo shorts and like a tie-dye shirt.
Right.
That's cool. You got a good product. We love it. But, you know, when it comes to looking professional and being that, embodying that, I think that Advantis AI definitely does that for sure.
Well, I think one of the funniest stories to come out of TARP is just before we actually changed, we had Unicrypt reach out to us. And they wanted to talk to us about doing an advertising spot and a few other things. And the guy who reached out to us is one of the kind of head guys there. And he goes, you know, it's funny because I saw you guys launch, right, in December of last year, right? And I thought you guys were seriously going to rug pull. And he goes, and a year later, I see you're actually developing utility. So it was that kind of mentality, right? Like there was a roadblock there for a lot of people, especially if you were talking to friends or family. It was a tough name to sell. But it was one of those things that, you know, we knew if we changed it, we removed that roadblock. Also, going from BSC to Ethereum makes it easier for a lot of people as well. So it was one of those things that we knocked down kind of two barriers to entry with the project.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the east side, there is a lot. It does seem to be like a lot more action.
Yes.
You know, price action when it comes to, you know, charts and things like that. The Ethereum side, it really does just have that, just more volume. I guess you could say more action during the day-to-day, which is pretty cool. Londart coming in with the $5 super chat real quick. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Advantis being the woodchuck in this scenario.
It could chuck infinite amounts of woods.
Yeah. as much wood that needed to be chucked, that woodchuck could chuck that wood.
Exactly. But yeah, so, moving was a big thing for us. That was exciting. We were able to get a good migration. Everything went fairly well. Everybody got their tokens and, there was no real issues. We were able to actually turn off the tokenomics on the switchover. So nobody got charged taxes on the switchover, which was nice. And then, it was a stressful day for obviously the team because a lot of people don't know this, but, as the developers, you're moving all that money. And that's not your money. So there's a lot of stress involved in moving from one chain to another. But everything went smoothly. Everything came out the other side. And that just came down to really, we tested everything on testnet a million times first. We kind of knew what we were doing. We had a good game plan in place and just executed it.
Absolutely. And I will say that was probably, as an investor, I've been a part of some not so smooth transitions and migrations and airdrops and all that jazz. Your transition was pretty dang smooth. One of, if not one of the best and smoothest transitions I've seen.
Yeah, I think we got lucky. One of the things you have to take into account when you're doing airdrops as a developer is what's your cost going to be, because you're paying gas fees on every single airdrop. You bulk load them and say bulk or a bulk send. But each individual one is hits you on the gas fee. So we had a pool set aside. We knew we had like what we expected, and then we had emergency. So what we were able to do is actually find a place in the middle where it topped out at, and I think we got all the airdrops done within under an hour. So I was pretty happy.
That's awesome, man. Hats off to y'all. Hats off to you and the rest of the team. That is that is not a small feat, and not an easy feat at that same time as well. So kudos for real.
Yeah, I was really happy. Our we have an amazing community, and they deserved the best that we could do. So that's what we did. We really pushed hard and made sure we followed through and got it all taken care of. Did all the practice ahead of time, so everybody was safe, and knocked it out.
Absolutely. I love the fact that y'all utilize testnet. Like, there's so many things that you can do to make sure that when you do launch or have a transition or anything like that, you know what's going to happen because you've ran it, 30, 40, 50, 100 times.
To give you an idea, just the insanity of what I do, because I'm in love with testnet, right? Because like you're saying, it's there to be utilized. At any given time on my development computer, I have 15 to 30 wallets that are just for testnet. And it's all for, if I'm working on this contract, does it have tokenomics? I need to have a wallet for each one of those tokenomics to make sure they transfer properly. I need the deployment wallet. And then I also have test wallets. So people give me contracts they want me to look at. I'll go as far as putting them on testnet if I don't understand something that I'm seeing. So it's one of those things that, in an average week, I spend probably more time on testnet than mainnet.
I have no doubt. But that's one of the things is that you spend so much time over there that when you get over to mainnet, you already have a real good idea of what's about to happen.
Yeah, and that's the idea is, I don't want surprises, right? Especially, with our changeover to Ethereum, we actually changed our contract a bit. We added some new features that people were asking for. So what we did was we took out the transaction tax on transfers. So now you can transfer to your cold wallet, no fees, other than gas fee, obviously. But there's no taxes on any transferring. And then the other thing we did was we wanted to limit, because with a smart contract, you're able to set what your taxes are, even after the contract's live, as long as you don't renounce. But we want to go one step further and actually limit how high that tax could go. So we sat down, we discussed it, and so we run at a 5% tax, but we wanted to have like a spare one just in case. But at no time can the contract ever go up above 6%.
That's awesome.
And you see that on like CMC where it says they can change their taxes. We want to create a new standard where, we might be able to change your taxes, but 1%.
Right, with a max tax of 6%.
Exactly.
Yeah, not bad at all. Doug from the 10 in the building. What's good, brother? I see you, Senior Tater, in the building as well. How y'all doing? Got some questions. For those who are asking questions in the chat, I am writing them down. So I've written all of them down. So we'll get to all of the questions that we have time for today. So keep asking. I'll keep writing them down, and we'll get to as many as we can possibly.
Perfect. So yeah, as far as it goes from there, that's our token side of things. I think we're probably one of the strongest out there when it comes to our contract. That's something I put a lot of pride in, and I spend a lot of time programming and reaching out to who I like to call the godfather of contracts. He really understands a lot. So if I get stuck in something, I just say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. How would I do this? And he's like, oh, here's the code snippet. So it's really nice to have somebody to, be able to speak to who's been doing contracts even longer than I have. So it's really nice. But then being able to, just make sure that our contract's 100% solid. Now, one of the things, the benefits of that is when we do run the Advantage score on our scanner, we do have a high score, but that's not from editing. That's because we spent that time developing that contract, making sure it was 100% perfect, even with the tokenomics in place and everything else in place. So it was a labor of love to get it there, but it was there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you, and you've definitely been one of those people that we always, like, a lot of the communities reach out to you. There's been times where projects who are having a little issue, and who do I send to? My suggestion is, hey, ask Moonshot. If he doesn't know, I can't tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. But I love to hear the fact that you actually have somebody that you go to. They say that there's that old saying is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms or something like that.
No, exactly. And like I said, he's been doing contracts a bit longer than I have. I fully understand the contracts, but there's certain things like with Solidity, you have to do it the right way. And I would get stuck on something, and I would be like, hey, if I need the percentage to be locked at, say, 6%, how would I do that? And he comes back and says, here's the code snippet. So I'm able to implement it, get it on testnet, get it working. So it's really nice to have, like I said, somebody that you can have back you up and make sure you're doing things right. And he also checks my stuff, so we know that it's perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's someone you can bounce ideas off, who understands the idea that you're trying to bounce off, and understand what you're trying to do. And that's really awesome to have that kind of like that support system where you can check, double check. So that's pretty cool.
And that's the thing too. If you look at our contract, we've done things nobody's done before, right? We're innovating within by knowing what Solidity can do, right? And some people just haven't tried to do that yet. So it's us who tests it and figures it out and tries it. And in every case, it works for us because we spend the time and test it.
Absolutely. Every road is a road because somebody walked down it first.
Exactly.
So that's the way it is. Before you get to the paved road, you got to go through the trail and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Right there with you. Well, brother, let's get into that utility. We've got it up here on the screen, and I can tell you, I did get to see it in March, kind of like a bare bones version. But it was very exciting. It's had me excited for almost a year, and now it is live and out to the public. So you want to tell us about that one?
Yeah. So the whole idea behind our first utility. So first thing I'll say is it's definitely our first utility. We're going to be building on this. This is kind of the backbone of everything. Was to create a token scanner that looks at the blockchain differently, because we found that a lot of the token scanners out there were providing misleading information or false information. One good example was TARP on Token Stiffer. They couldn't understand our anti-bot system, so they called us a honeypot the entire time, even though clearly people could buy and sell. So what we did is once again, it's one of those things, you're kind of paving the way. So it's finding new ways of doing things and kind of going off the trail a little bit. And so on top of that, what we want to do is make the system self-learning as well. So as things become more relevant and we're seeing more and more the same type of scams, because they change every 6 months or 8 months, it's able to keep up with everything. And that's one thing that, a lot of the other scanners kind of fall behind on. As soon as there's some new thing, they kind of fall behind again. And then there's a lag time before they kind of catch it back up. But our idea was to be kind of on the flow and going all the time. So what we did is we built the utility around that. So we use a bit of AI technology. So we had data scientists create a system for the database where it can analyze contracts. So it can analyze contracts in a few different ways. One, it can check straight up if something's a copy of something, and that's just a straight comparator. But the other way it can do it is it can actually find malicious code. So, for example, if something's a honeypot in the actual code, it will see that. It will create that warning right away. So instead of having to rely on, say, necessarily transaction data, it can actually figure it out all by itself, which is amazing.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
And that was the idea behind this, is we wanted something that if you're not technical and you can't look at the code, it can do it for you, right? So it brings people to the level playing field, right?
Absolutely. And that is one of the things that I do love about it. You don't have to be a 10-year veteran of crypto. You can be someone. It is kind of like in the most Cliff Notes layman's terms available. That's where like my parents can understand it. And that's kind of what I do like about it. And another feature is the fact that somebody jumps in there on my live stream and says, "Hey, can you check out this project?" I can type in the contract reader, and there it is. And I've been waiting on that for a long time.
Well, and that's the idea too, is it's for everyone, right? So if let's say your aunt is crypto curious, right? We want you to be able to say, here's what crypto is. Here's a place with resources to get you started, and then being able to look at the contracts you're looking at so that they're technically sound. And then you can look into the developers from there.
Yes, sir. That is cool. And I do love the fact that it has like all the information is right there at the top. So it gives you like a quick breakdown. And then if you want to, you can slide down there and get some more information as you wish. And
really the one thing we wanted was it not to be overwhelming, right, with information. Because we could spew a ton of data at you, but most people, if you throw a lot of data at them, they just kind of zone out at that point. So we kept things very, very simple. So we're showing basically kind of the basic information you need to know on this page, and then the score does all the rest for you. So like actually looking at the contract, actually checking the code and all that stuff. So it's more on that level, if that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And on the utility side, there is the free one for the public, correct? And then there's also an Advantage AI Pro.
There's a Pro coming. So the Pro will be available on mobile as well. And what that will do is it's going to give you direct notifications of changes in your wallet, in the contracts that you hold. But it's also going to talk a little bit more to the inner geek in all of us. So for example, we are developing an AI wallet tracker, and what that will do is, let's say there's a developer that creates a honeypot or a rug pull, and you want to know where your money went. You're going to be able to track it. Even if he moves it from wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet, it's going to actually have be able to do a full graph for you of exactly where the money ended up.
Wow. That is awesome. And on that Advantage Pro, there was an NFT that just went out that y'all had. It was like a small limited supply of NFTs that went out, which if you bought one of those NFTs, it gave you lifetime access to the Advantage Pro, correct? Right?
That's correct, yeah. And there is some discussion. So once I kind of figure out exactly how it's going to work out, that may be coming available again for a very short amount of time. But definitely keep an eye on our Twitter, and we'll let people know if it does become available again.
Absolutely. And at the moment, it is not available, correct?
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't get one right now.
It was sold for 1 week on launch week, or leading up to launch. But there's been some discussion within the community of relaunching it for a very short amount of time again.
That's awesome. Well, guess what we're going to do today? We're going to give one of those bad boys away.
Oh, hell yes.
We're going to give away one of the Advantage AI NFTs that will get you lifetime access to the Advantage Pro. So we will do that here in a little while. And me personally, I like to reward the people that are here instead of putting it out on Twitter where we got thousands upon thousands of randos. I want somebody here to win it. So Moonshot, if you're cool with that, I'm going to do like a StreamYard, like a hashtag. And so you got to be here in chat. So if you want a chance, be here in chat. Go tell somebody, or don't tell somebody if you want to win. I don't know how. Go tell somebody about it. But we will give that away here in just a little while. So don't worry. We'll give away. If you don't have one yet, I don't have one. So if you don't have one yet, you're going to have a leg up on me and quite a few of others because at the moment they're no more available. Can't buy them at the moment. But yeah, well, so like I said, we'll run that giveaway here in just a little bit. It'll be a hashtag. I'll literally put a hashtag in that you got to pull up, and you got to put it into chat. Make sure it looks exactly the same. So if it's a capital letter, make sure that letter's capitalized. But yeah, be here in chat, and we'll run that. I don't know, whenever kind of here in a little bit.
Yeah, and you guys, a lot of you being in Lawn Dart's channel, we've done the giveaways on there. It's the same format.
Yeah, for sure. I forget that Lawn Dart does giveaways with the StreamYard as well. I always think that he's like on OBS.
Matt, go to bed. Matt is DMing me like crazy right now. I see all the DMs popping up on my screen.
Mine is, I'm over here. Mine never stops. It's
no,
always something. It's always something.
Get some rest, Matt. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. And real quick, well, now that we know that Matt is here and can hear us a little bit, but get some rest. I sent him a video on some decompression of the sinus area. So watch that video. Hopefully that helps out and get some rest.
I think he has what I had like last month. I think he finally got it. Yeah.
It is brutal. I'm going to stay here in my bubble and pray that my bubble doesn't get that. Hopefully it doesn't go through the internet.
No, exactly. So back to the reader. I'll just kind of finish this up quick. And then I want to talk about what's coming because there's a lot of development that's still happening, obviously. So what we'll do is we'll go through kind of what the reader does now and what it's going to be doing in the next short little while. Now, I almost scrolled down on this page, and that's the wrong page. I'm going to just zoom it in a little, just so make sure.
I've clicked on it so many times, and I realized I'm not the one sharing it.
Yeah, I know. So if we scroll down here, you can see the different sections. We did this so that if you didn't want to get overloaded with information, you just wanted to check one thing, you can do that. So you can pop down top 10 wallets by itself, similar contracts, or even if you just want the score. If you don't want to break down the score, it scores right at the top at all times. Now, if I click full view, it's going to pop everything. So it becomes a little busier on the page. Right here, it's the top 10 wallets. What you're able to do with the top 10 wallets is see if over 50% is being held in the top 10 wallets. Right now, this is currently flagged. The reason why we flag it instead of add it to the score is that we need to create a whitelist system for things like staking wallets. The dead wallet is already removed from the percentage. But also, other things like an exchange, let's say, or a DEX. We don't want those to hurt the score. Once that's in place, it will be added to the score, though. And as you can see here, if I click on details, you can see everything that's been happening. This happens to be our DEX. So that's Uniswap's contract. Those will be labeled in the future. So these are things that we're just kind of tweaking as we go. But you can see, we go to this wallet. No new transactions. Okay, there we go. There's somebody who's been buying, and you can actually go in and see how much they bought, and you can check the transaction hash as well. So it's kind of nice to be able to track what's happening. Now in the pro version, you're gonna be able to flag that. So let's say you know that wallet number 6 is a whale, and you want to know what that whale is doing, right? You want notifications if that whale sells or buys or whatnot. You kind of want to trade alongside them. You're gonna be able to do that by using the flag icon right here. This one here, the little circle, is actually for suspicious wallets. So if you know that this developer is suspicious and this is their wallet and you want to make sure they're not in something else or anything like that, you can click that and it'll track it for you. So it's a nice way, but it also becomes part of the suspicious wallet pool after review for everybody to see. So that's going to be
real quick. Senior Tater said, Justin, please don't expose my wallet.
Hold on. Sorry, Senior Tater. No, I'm kidding. Next one down is similar contracts. So these contracts that we're actually scanning against are things that had suspicious activity happen on them. Everything from rug pulls to suspicious activity from developers to honeypots, all of that stuff. These are not standard contracts. These are ones that have been put in here for a reason. And what they do is this will tell you if somebody's using the same contract as another scam. And that way you can do some more research to figure out, are they running the same scam? Is it the same person? All those types of things. Now, with similarity to contracts, solidity can only be written so many ways. So there's always going to be some similarity. We had to find the weight of that. So 50% below is considered low. Anything between that and say 80% is considered medium. And obviously up to 100% is high, because then you have the exact same contract. The next thing you have is the buy and sell checker. This is actually one of the data points we use to check if it's a honeypot or not. In this case, we do see buys and sells. It tells you how much in the last 5,000 blocks. And now this is going to be described a little bit better because we've had people ask. But 5,000 blocks on Ethereum is about 16 hours of transactions. On BSC, it's 4 hours and 10 minutes for 5,000 blocks to clear. But this will give you an up-to-date, whether it can be bought or sold, but also gives you a nice little indicator. So do you have buys and sells? How much has been bought? How much has been sold in the last 5,000 blocks? Going down, this is probably the most confusing part for a lot of people. So once again, we're going to be working on that, the verbiage around this a little bit better. This is the risk weighting system. What this is doing is it's showing you where the positive score is being derived from. So right now we have 45.3% that it's actually coming from the similar contract weighting, because we don't have any warnings on that. The locked liquidity gives us a 9.5, and the code weighting gives us 45.3, which gives us down here the final Advantage score. And what you can do is check through these. There's an information button here. Now there will be information buttons showing up with each one of the tabs as well coming up. I actually just wrote those today, so I know they're coming. So the similarity with contracts, if you want to know what we're checking for, it's right here. Same with lock liquidity. Code analysis, this is probably the most interesting one, so I'll read you this one. Code analysis is the process of reviewing and evaluating the code. So that means we're scanning the code, we're looking at the code, and we're looking for potential issues and vulnerabilities, as well as checking and analyzing to make sure that the logic and the function of the contract is working properly. Because if the logic or function is not working properly, that's how you actually get a honeypot. So it's able to detect those things and attack vectors and different things, and it gives it a weighted score based off of that. Now, code analysis itself also does include the buy sell checker. Now, the reason why we do that is because it's part of the honeypot checker. So it's technically under code analysis right now. So it will be in the code analysis. And then you have renouncement, which is your project renounced or not? We don't give that a lot of weight, neither with the lock liquidity. And the reason why is because a lot of big projects don't actually lock their liquidity. And in the future, I don't think there's going to be many projects who are renouncing either, because we get exchanges requesting whitelists of their wallets. And you can't do that if you've renounced your contract. So we do have a little bit of weight there so that you can see it, but it doesn't affect the score overly in this case.
Yeah, and when it comes to renounced contracts, I do believe, I agree with you when I think that moving forward, you're going to start to see that kind of become the norm. Where in the past it was like, if they're not renounced, like I'm not buying it. Like it's simple as that. But when you do lock it up, it kind of handcuffs you a little bit in what you can and can't do. So when you have that, when the contract isn't renounced, especially when think of it like when regulations are coming. Yeah. What happens when regulations come and your contract's non-renounced? You're able to go in and make those corrections and make those adjustments as you need. Where if you have a renounced contract, you're probably going to have to go to a V2,
V3, so on.
Add whatever number you want to there. But yeah, so I'm right there with you on the renounced contract. So,
well, I think in my case, the way I look at it is, if it's not renounced but they have lock liquidity, generally it's going to be pretty fine. I mean, they can still do some weird things like max out their taxes or do something silly like that. But that's one of those things that, as this is developing and as the AI is learning, it's going to be able to check those things, and it's going to be able to warn you of those things so that hey, okay, they just jumped their taxes to 100%. What the hell are they doing? Right?
Yes, sir. We got Cuff and the Dip in the building. What's good, brother? How you doing? Yo.
How you doing, Cuff?
One of the OGs, of course. He's the reason I'm here. So definitely appreciate old Cuff and the Dip for sure. But yeah, I really do. I'm excited for the fact that, like I said earlier, like I'm able to like help out like my YouTube channel. Like there's been so many times where somebody comes in, hey, can you check this project? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that live on stream. But like next thing you know, I can put this in and put that contract into the Advantage AI reader and have a full breakdown and be like, and then we can have a short conversation about it with some actual information. It's pretty solid.
Oh, 100%. And when we look at this system too, with the way it's going to evolve and everything, it's still going to be simplified so that when you, like, as a streamer, like you said, you don't want to be giving too much time to that, but you can drop right down to the score and see what everything was, right? And then if you see something that maybe you're questioned, then you can go up and figure it out. But it's one of those things that I think as a streamer, it's also an incredibly good tool because you're able to go in, put that in. That makes the person happy who's asking, right? And people are always curious. I mean, sometimes you do find a gem every so often.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's always a nugget or two out there in the field of hay that you have to find that needle in. It's more than a stack. I feel like it's like a whole field of hay where that needle's hidden.
Yeah, no, exactly. And just going back to like what I was saying. So this is going to evolve. Like we were talking before the stream with what's coming up. So what's being added to this is there's going to be a whitelist for the top 10 wallets, and once that's implemented, the top 10 wallets goes into scoring, right? We're also putting in a system that checks the epoch date, like the date that the token was actually created, and the longer that it's been alive and active, the more it's going to help the score and things like that. So like we're always tweaking things, and we're going to diversify the score just a little bit more. But I think you'll find that, as far as the scores go, sometimes they seem a little brutal, but it's because that's the facts, right? We always go 100% on the facts. It's not how I feel about a project. It's not how Matt feels about a project. It's from the data points we're pulling, what do we get, right? So in some cases, the code analysis and the similar contracts can be a bit brutal on contracts. But the whole idea is that if it's a 54, a medium score, or something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It means that you should be paying attention. You need to start asking questions, right? And we're all about asking questions, right? Because what this does is this gives you the technical information, but it can't tell you what the developers are going to do. But if they're doing certain things or there's certain similarities to other contracts, it's worth looking into, making sure it's not the same people, and, just talking within their community and figuring what the community is about.
Absolutely. And one thing it does do is it like you said, it makes you stop. Like instead of just going in there, there's a lot of times in my life where I've been a ready, shoot, aim type person. In crypto, ready, shoot, aim doesn't necessarily work a lot of the times. So if I'm able to have a tool like this where I can come in and be able to slow myself down and be like, okay, there are a few red flags, or there's not a red, and check it out and have a score that's going to give you information, but not like information overload. Because like you said, exactly. I'm one of those ADD people. I'm like, I start reading and they start breaking down like code and like code language, and I'm like, squirrel.
Well, it's like, have you ever read a Certec audit? It's like this code snippet here, and then they show the whole code snippet. Most people are just like, yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The score at the top. What's that number? Cool. That's what a lot of folks look at. And
so that's why we want to keep it as clean and as concise as possible. Now in the pro version, there will be a little more data, just because that's one of the benefits of that, is that you want maybe that a little bit more. But the people, for an everyday investor, right, the free version's way more than enough.
Absolutely. I mean, the free it does anything and everything that you need it to. The pro just has the bells and whistles.
No, 100%, and it's really
bells.
It's really about not having a barrier to entry to an amazing tool, right? And that was always our goal, is never to have a barrier to entry. So the key is, if we don't have a barrier to entry and everybody can use it, we've created something that can change the space and help people with, security and education as well.
Absolutely. Miyamoto says we have what's the first one? The NGN community thanks you for making the space a safer place for investors with the technology you have designed to continue to build on. Absolutely. Definitely appreciate it. And this is going to be a tool that is going to be very helpful, I think, for everyday investors. That way, and before you know, you're gonna be able to use this Advantis, the Advantis AI, and it'll tell you. And the next thing you know, you're going to be able to look at the project because you've used this Advantis AI and you know what you're kind of looking for. That way, when you go to look at it with that blank, your first time looking at a project, you're going to be that much more knowledgeable on what are you looking for. things
Exactly.
that, what is a red flag that I really should be worrying about? Is this, A, B, and C? And then if you really like the project, you can go put it in the AI, the AI Advantage and check it out.
100%. And that's the thing, right? It's creating a tool that's free to use to help you do some research, and it's more the technical side. So it's like, for me, when I look at a project, people who've been around me know the first thing I do is I go to Etherscan and I'm writing the contract. Like, I'm reading the contract itself, not what the white paper says. I'm in the contract, and the reason why is because I need to make sure that contract can do what they're saying that they're trying to do. Because if it doesn't make sense, or there's errors, or there's this or that, I mean, that's my first key that I need to walk away.
Absolutely. And Cuff called me out and said I don't have the Advantage AI website in the description. And so let me put that in there real quick before I get cussed out more.
I'll answer Cuff's question really quick there. Does it cover NFTs at this time? You can put an NFT in there. It will tell you what the holder status is. However, it can do it. It's not trained on it yet. So we are going to train it on NFT stuff. But it was definitely something that, like, during development, we tested some NFT utility within this just to see what would happen. And so that's something we're going to develop on because we know that there's a lot of issues within the NFT space right now. Now, that said, you have to remember, most projects, if you're talking, say, like an NFT project, they might have liquidity in a pool. And that's usually based on a token. That token will be readable as well and should be treated as any other token.
I'll get that in here in a minute. It's not letting me do it while I'm live. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'll figure that out. I'll get the website in there before, if not, right after we wrap it up here. But yes, it is live. I put it over in chat for anybody who is looking for the website. There you go. There you go.
And that's one thing too, like, to remember, from a technical standpoint, a contract can be fantastic, right? But the developer can be a mess. So you do have to take that into account as well. So this is your technical side of your do your own research, but remember to always research your actual developers as well.
Ben come in with a really good comment here. I think it's a great thing that it is completely unbiased in its analysis. Emotions play a big part in people's investing, and it's great to have a resource that does not use emotions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime you can take emotion out of your trading, I think that's usually better trading. When you're able to kind of have a clearer mind, and you're not, the emotional roller coaster that gets you. Because one day you may not know a cycle, and there may be something happening, and you're like, you freak out one day just because the knowledge isn't there. It's all good. You're gonna be all right, especially if you're using this unbiased and getting a real, not someone's opinion, but an actual, like, factual breakdown of what is going on.
And that's the thing too. Like, if you look at our history, we ticked off a couple of projects along the way. With trying to warn people, because we saw certain things that we weren't comfortable with. It was people in our community who were investors and those that brought it forward and had us look. But the thing is, with a person telling you, that's one thing, right? Because you can argue with that person, right? But when it's raw data from the blockchain, it's a lot harder to argue with. So it's one of those things that, it may hurt your feelings from time to time if you put a project in. But, make sure that you feel that, it's just coming from the blockchain. It's just pulling raw data, and it's able to decode that data, look at it, and understand it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not biased in any way. It just shows you what it knows.
Absolutely. And for me, a lot of people know that I cover a lot of Grove. I'm on the team. Even looking at the Grove coin score, I believe it's a medium. I think it's like 52, 50, something like that.
Right around 52, 54, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Right. But if you go in and look at it and break it down, it's getting the similarity for contracts is getting a real big hit. But if you looked at lock liquidity, low. You looked at code analysis, low. So things that you're really looking at, it's not a pretty number. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I popped it on and I was like, yeah. Oh, video. Whoa. And then I broke down what it's saying, what the reader is actually giving me, and I realized, okay, if you look at the things like liquidity, locked, good. Look
52.
at yeah, you look at source code and all that. It's not bad.
So like the way I look at this, right, is number one, because we're looking at Grove right now. So let's look how I would look at it, right? Right now I'm looking at locked liquidity. It's locked for a decent amount of time. It doesn't unlock till 2024, right? So right there, I know the liquidity is safe for at least another year, right? I don't have to worry about it. The developers have to worry about it, but I don't have to worry about it. Now, when it gets closer, that's when I'll start paying closer attention. The locked liquidity, we can see that there's $252,000 in locked liquidity. That is a lot of locked liquidity. That's a good thing, right? It can't be botted easily. The liquidity can't be drained as easily when it's at that high level. So we know that, okay, so that's good, right? Now, if I come down to the score, it's similarity with contracts, right? And this is what this is do you trust the developer, right? Because yes, they have a high score on the similarity, right? Well, that's because, now, mind you, the first one is literally the same contract. I didn't want to put it in 200 times. I eventually will, but I didn't want to do it before launch. And that was just like a straight up like rug pull, constantly over and over and over again. And then we see a similarity to Suki or whatever it was. But you have to remember these were developed around the same time, I believe. Grove probably just after. So there was a lot of that kind of standard similarity with all the contracts. But what this should do is have you say to yourself, should I be looking into this project? Do I trust the developers, right? So that's what the whole point of the similar contracts is, to let you know that there are tokens out there that are similar within the code analysis. But as far as it goes, when you look at the lock liquidity and the code analysis itself, there's no backdoors, there's no errors that have been found, and there's a good liquidity lock. So, it's a good first starting point.
Absolutely. And real quick, can projects reach out to you and try to rectify and try to correct some of these and correct and maybe get a higher score? Is that something that the projects can do? Yeah.
So that was something that was very important to us because we knew, even from our experience, right? Because like I said, we had we have the anti-bot system with TARP originally, and over on Token Sniffer, we tried to contact them a million times and say, look, this is why it's happening. You're using a non-gas transaction, basically a dust transaction that buys and sells a very tiny amount, so small that it doesn't even trigger gas. And we don't allow you to buy and sell on the same block, right? So yeah, we come back as a honeypot, but we're definitely not. Just look at our chart, right? So it was one of those things that was really frustrating for us because we can't rectify what something's saying. So we took it under very, very careful consideration that we would work with developers. We want them to reach out to us. We want them to talk to us, and we can, we can do a reanalysis, go through it again. And if we do that, we do put a header at the top, a kind of blue warning bar that says, hey, we've looked at this. We've talked to the developers. This is what they've done. This is what they're showing. We tend to agree with them. So like, let's say there's some new technology in the Solidity code, and then we're going to update the AI so that it knows that that's safe in the future, right? So it's one of those things that it can grow, but with the help of other developers. And, we don't want to alienate developers. We want to work with them. So even if they're like, okay, my code analysis is terrible. What did I do wrong? Right? We can at least say, hey, this part of your code has errors in it. You need to fix that. And maybe they have to do a V2.
That's awesome. That is solid right there. I definitely do like that. And Cuff had a question here. We kind of talked about it earlier, but he had a question. Will it point out exploits in contracts like backdoors?
So as far as it goes, it's tracking those. It's not pointing them out directly because we didn't want to show you the code necessarily because a lot of people get really confused. But when you start seeing code analysis dropping in score, start worrying. And the thing is too, so if it's something specific, it'll get flagged to me, and usually I'll put up a warning bar saying, hey, this project is going to authorize every single contract in your wallet and steal all your tokens. So I can put that at the top.
And then we kind of talked about it earlier. One thing that I know a lot of folks might have heard but might not have was the wallet mapping. When you're talking about where, if a wallet, you can track a wallet, and if that wallet moves to another wallet, you're gonna be able to track that all with the Pro, right? That's a Pro version.
Yeah. So that's a whole another AI system. And what it does is it tracks transfers from the known starting point. So if like I said, so like let's say you have a developer that just rug pulled and you want to know where the funds are going. How is he getting it out? How can we get them reported? What you can do is put in the starting wallet and it'll continually track every transfer that he does to where the money ends up.
Wow.
Yeah, and with Tornado Cash gone, it's really easy to track people.
That's wild. That is wild. And Cup says that that'd be a game changer for sure. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. The wallet tracking and mapping, that's something that I definitely want to take a look at and get into a little
and play
bit
with
more, for sure.
It's really cool. And the thing is, we still take our approach of simplicity, right? Because obviously when we run a system like that, an AI system like that, the data that comes out is very ugly. It's hard to read. But we're able to generate like flow charts and everything like that with it so that visually you're going to fully understand it, even though it's hyper complex in behind.
Ben says the wallet tracking is going to be the real game changer. Tracking wallets is a difficult thing for more investors. This will be an easy for everybody. Absolutely.
Well, not just that. So like let's say with Pro, you have the analyzer in there, like it's wallet connected, and it's able to not analyze, but it's in observation mode, so it knows what tokens you have. And all of a sudden, you connect your wallet, and it pops up and it says, hey, there's these 4 new tokens in your wallet. These are all dust tokens. All of these have code that are going to empty out your wallet if you touch them. Here's how to hide them in every single wallet that you could use. So here's how to hide in MetaMask. Here's how to hide it in SafePal. Here's how to hide in Ledger. So that you know that you're not touching that crap. Because literally, I'm not kidding you. It's, what is it? It's 4 lines of code can authorize every single token in your wallet. That's all it takes. And we track for that. So it being able to do that and then having like a dust token tracker as well is going to be a big thing.
Absolutely. Cuff has another question. How will that work with it being traded to an exchange? Still trackable?
So that's where it stops, obviously, because then you're going onto the exchange. But remember, all exchanges that trade in the United States or pretty much anywhere in the world have some version of KYC. So that's where you can point the authorities if you're trying to get the guy caught.
Absolutely.
That's how I get most people caught who steal from us. So, or from my community, basically.
That's wild. That is wild, man. So many cool little utilities, and it's not just one utility, like you said.
No.
Right now, the first utility is the Advantis AI, but that is just like kind of like the foundation and the building block for what else you have to come down the road.
So exactly. So the next thing that we're coming out with, development starting very, very soon on it, because I want to get it, because I think they're going to match really well together. And I think that they're actually going to be able to help each other in some ways, is that we are going to build kind of our version of Dex tools, right? But with the AI built into it. So like imagine being on Dex tools and being like, hey, I'm checking out the charts on this contract. All of a sudden the AI is right beside you, helping you like in one shot, like right there. And it's like, everything comes together in one, but also because of the way that functions, we'll be tracking every single transaction as well. And because you're tracking every single transaction, what you can do is you can track all the front run bots. So if a project that you're in has front run bots attacking it, you can be warned ahead of time. Right. And then it's like, okay, so this token's getting attacked right now. Maybe I should move my funds out for a little bit until the developers can find a fix. So it's one of those things that, as we build this kind of cohesive system that all works together under the backbone of what the AI is, it's just going to become incredible.
Cuff is on fire right now with these questions. I'm not going to lie. He just had another one. And I don't know if this has been thought of or about the team or anybody else, but it says, will you guys in the future ever advance this tech to help people avoid bad links and mint links? Maybe be able to input a link and get a read if it's good or not.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that we're considering. The other thing is also maybe just not just having the link checker, but also having like known good links on a page, right? Kind of like, so if you go on SafePal, right? What do? You go to Discover, you go to say OpenSeas. Well, you're not going to a link, right? You're going to the official OpenSeas directly within the app itself. So what if we could do something like that for the web browser, right? So everybody can get to the right link every single time. So it's safe. They know exactly where it is. So it's almost like a crypto bookmarks page.
Wow. That'd be awesome.
But yes, we can check those. We can check if it's a fake. We always see the fake pop-up of MetaMask on a lot of these sites. And that's how they get you. They have you put your MetaMask password in, and then it says, oh no, there's a problem. Put in your seed phrases. Yeah, never do that. Never do that. MetaMask never asks for your seed phrases unless you're adding a new account. So
Right. Absolutely. Cuff says, but let's build the space with this. Let's help the space with this tech and build the brand.
100%.
What it's all about. That's already started. The brand has already started. They kind of got the foundation of with the Tarpies. You're going to have those diehards like ourselves. But with the advances, with the rebranding and making things look a little more professional and inviting and not so, totally a rug pull, it's awesome. We love it. But at the same time, that rebrand to Advantis AI, now you can go in front of, institutional money. You can go in front of, big time partnerships, exchanges, and be like, hey, this is what we are. This is who we are. This is what we got now.
And that's the funny thing. So like both Matt and myself have, outside connections in the business world, right? And every time we were talking to institutional guys, who deal with that kind of, whether it's VC money or whatever, right? And then you say the name totally rug pull, they're kind of like, no, I'm good. Right. But then when you have something that sounds awesome, like Advantis AI, that's a whole new ballgame, right? Especially right now, if you say AI in front of anybody, they just go, give me.
Advantis AI powered by Advantis token. Absolutely.
100%. So what he's talking about there, and I'll bring this up because this is more Matt's side of things because he does the business side and the graphics side, and I do kind of the more tech side. But what we're talking about is everything that Advantis does. So on the free version, eventually there might be marketing on there. That marketing is paid for by other developers in Advantis token. So it pushes volume. Anything that's done on the charting site is done through that. When we partner with other projects who want to use our API, if it's not a strategic partnership where we're giving something back and forth, they have to pay for that use of the API in Advantis token, which then, one, increases volume, but two, what are we going to do with that Advantis tokens? We're developers. We don't want to sell our own tokens. So what are we going to do? We're going to siphon it back into the community. We're going to burn it. We're going to put it into the liquidity pool so the liquidity floor comes up, continually increasing the value of the project. So anything that we do business partnership wise and B2B side is powered by Advantis token on all of our utilities, future utilities. So
that's awesome. It
just feeds the monster, right? It just keeps feeding it and feeding it and feeding it. Because, we don't want to sell our own tokens. That's just dumb.
and that gives your token another utility. It just adds to the token list of utilities as well.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, too, is, obviously right now there's a lot of speculation and questions of what crypto is going to look like in the future and everything like that. But, if you go by the current court cases that have gone through, what's a security? What's not a security? The only thing we know so far is that if the token is used to run a system or to pay for goods or to do something within the project, it's not considered a security at that point, right? I'm not saying we're trying to avoid being a security, but it saves you as an investor a lot of loopholes that once it becomes a security in the United States, you have to jump through to be able to even invest in it in the first place. So it's one of those things that we want it to be a token for everybody, not just for the VC guys or the big investors and the institutional money. I want JustAman in here. I want Cuff here. I want Zero Dune in here, right? I want everybody to have an equal opportunity on this.
Yes, sir. And speaking of equal opportunity, Let's give everyone in here right now an equal opportunity to win lifetime access to the Advantis AI reader. So here is, let me go ahead and get that bad boy going. There is the tweet. Super easy, hashtag Advantis. We're going to run that here in just a few minutes, but the NFT that you're going to get today is going to give you lifetime access to the Advantis AI Reader Pro. So hold on to that NFT, and you're going to have access to the Pro. And so, yeah, make sure that you are capitalizing that A. Make sure you're spelling it right and all that good stuff. And we will rock it out here in just a few minutes. I'm actually going to try to pull up that NFT and see if I can find it real quick.
Now, one thing I will say, and if you listen to Matt in our AMAs and on other channels when he talks, the other thing too is the people who have the Pro are going to see the new features that will eventually be free, but they get to test them first. So you get to see the newest, greatest, funnest things in Advantis before they go free, and then we'll roll them into the free version once we're done our testing. But you get to play with all the fun stuff.
So basically, you become a beta tester pretty much by holding the NFT as well.
Well, that's the thing. So it won't be a beta test because we've already gone through it in our test servers. But as far as it goes, once we're happy with the release of it, the Advantis Pros will get it first, and then it'll be rolled into the free version after.
That's solid. That is pretty cool. I'm over trying to find the NFT, and I am not finding it.
I can grab you the link here. So if you go to OpenSeas,
I probably could have just gone to OpenSea instead of looking for
/Advantis, I believe will get you even there. Yes, we have our own collection. We're that awesome. It's a small collection right now. We just rebranded. Bear with us. We're getting there. So here, I'll put it in the back chat there for you. Come on, baby. There we go.
But that way folks can see what they got coming.
Yeah, and by the way, not to just say again how awesome Shotgun is, but Shotgun was the artist behind this one. It's in the private chat there, Justin.
Got it.
Beautiful.
Hashtag Advantis is what you're looking for. That's what we're looking for there. And so this actually has volume to it. So we're playing one time with the volume, and then we will we'll
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I'll give you the background on it too, because like when we talk about like what's actually happening there, it's actually representing Advantis booting up for the first time, right? So you see the lights come on, it starts up, but then you start seeing new ones popping up. So what happens is on our system, because we use AWS, we're able to scale in live time. So if there's too many people on the servers and it starts slowing down, it just starts a new server and it keeps it fast for everybody. So it's like each one of those servers popping up and then going and scanning for the contracts.
That's awesome.
That
is awesome.
Beautiful.
Shotgun's awesome. I love Shotgun. I love his work. He's so cool. I will say the video the last video he made me. I asked him, I was like, hey, can you do something with this? It's clipped. He was like, let me see what I can do. He was like, I'm on the road. I'm traveling today. I'll let you know what I can do when I get around to it. I'm like, bro, no worries. I'm expecting like a few days, maybe a week, something. I'm not worried about it. Like an hour and a half later, I have like this. I'm like, so much for traveling today, I guess, right?
Well, that's the funny thing with him is he's so fast, right? But he's always so humble, and he's like, yeah, it might take a while. It's fine, whatever. Right. And it was like when we were coming up with the idea of this NFT, we kind of knew what we wanted, and we had used this in a previous video, and he goes, okay, I can do it, but I'm gonna have to do it like quick. right? And that's like, I've never heard that from him. I have to do it quick because I'm about to go on the road traveling for business. I'm like, oh, okay. If you can do it, great. Right. And he goes, but the file from the original is corrupt, so I have to create from scratch. I'm like, oh, okay. Don't worry. It's fine. If it's Monday, it's Monday. Right.
Right.
And he's like, not even like 6 hours later, he's like, here you go. Here's this version. What do you want to do with it? I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I'm happy. And then Matt's like, okay, let's add a little more clarity to the Advantage logo. So we faded the back a little bit. Just so it popped. It didn't pop as much originally. And he goes, okay, but I'm also going to add sound. If you listen to that on headphones, that is properly stereo balanced. So when there's something that beeps on the left, it beeps on the left. If it beeps on the right, it beeps on the right. If it's a green contract, so a good contract, it has a happier beep. If it's got a red contract, it's a down beep. And it's like, like the amount of stuff he goes through, and he does it all in under 24 hours. And it's like, okay.
It's wild. It is absolutely wild. Miyamoto coming in with a $50 super chat. The network supports the Advantage project and community on the groundbreaking tech that this is making the DeFi space safer and better. This is what it's all about. We over at NGN believe in camaraderie and a plan to bring
100%.
projects and communities together. Miyamoto, appreciate that $50 super chat. First off, thank you for that.
And that's the thing, right? Like, that's why we want to work with developers, right? Because we have our ideas, we have our strengths, but so do other people, right? It's not whether, who can make the best token scanner or the best this. It's when we come together as a group of developers who believe the space can be better. And you know how I feel about this, because we've had these conversations about security and safety in the crypto space. But, if we can get the DeFi space, let's say 50% safer for the next bull run, do you know how much benefit that is to all of us?
Absolutely.
And if we can educate as well. So like one of the things we're doing is, and if you've ever taken one of my courses, you know how I teach, I simplify everything. I'm doing a online course, which is free for anyone who uses Advantage AI, not just pro, anyone.
Wow.
That is basically 2 years of crypto knowledge in a simple way so that people who are coming in new at the next bull run are already caught up. Right? What did a lot of you learn in the first year? Right? You're learning the hard way. I should have taken profits. I should have done this. I should have done that. Let's catch everybody up. Let's level the playing field. Let's reduce fear with knowledge and security and tools to help you along the way. And that's what Advantage stands for, 100%.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, brother, let's give this NFT away. We got 70 entries. I don't even know if we got 70 people in the chat. Somehow that worked out. But let's go ahead and run it. We're going to run it now before any more bots get in here. Love y'all. Let's go. Here we go. Let's see who a winner is going to take home lifetime membership, lifetime access to the Advantage AI Pro. The winner is Pre-Flop Investor.
Nice.
Beautiful. I know Pre-Flop. Pre-Flop's been around a long time as well. So that is solid. Congratulations. Make sure you're in chat.
Another super positive person. And
yes, sir.
Somebody who, if I had his body, I would never wear a shirt.
Facts. Let me tell you, shoot. If I had half those abs, like just the left side of abs, I would sit here like this, and that's all y'all would see.
There you go.
Congratulations to Pre-Flop Investor. Definitely a solid pickup there.
Yeah, he's right there.
Access.
I see him.
Lifetime access right there. Pre-Flop in the building. Very solid. So, brother, do me a favor. Shoot me a DM with your that's an ETH NFT. Moonshot?
ETH address. Yeah.
Yeah, so just shoot me a DM with your Ethereum address, and I'll get that over to them, and they will we'll get that NFT to you, brother. Congratulations. That is solid. Justin, you were coming in with a $10 super chat. Shout out to the 3 Justins in the stream.
There you go,
brother. Absolutely appreciate that $10 super chat, my guy.
I'm gonna tell you something funny, and you guys saw this in our stream with Lawn Dart yesterday, but. So Justin Ewert, sorry. Anyways, was on Chad's stream one day, Chad Reddings. And Chad thought he was me. So he was like, oh, here's the developer of TARP. So this whole thing's been going on this whole time. This whole kind of inside joke, and it keeps going, right? And he's working on V3 of the reader and all this stuff, right? Go to find out, he's actually a software developer, right? So yesterday he's like, hey, I had some ideas for this. I think I can help. Message me. And it's like, well, now that you're asking, here I come.
Right. I was sitting there. You were like, I wasn't going to, but now that you opened the door and said you're available.
Well, I just think it's funny that he got mistaken for a developer, yet he is a software developer, and I just thought it was really funny. But it's one of those things. There's so much talent within our group, right? It's incredible. Like you have, other people who are helping. You've got people who are great at art, people who are great at programming, people who are great at UI and design, and people who are great at this, that, and the other thing. And it's just like, my God, like there's so much talent in this community.
It really is amazing. And they come from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like it's the ones like you never like, you don't necessarily expect or think that, somebody who's been in your chat for, 6-7 months, the next thing you know, they send you a DM and like, hey, I can do this. And then next year you're like, holy crap, like you're phenomenal at what you do. It's amazing at how many talented people we really do run into on a daily basis here in the crypto, kind of the crypto world, just kind of being this, global community.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I mean, the more you talk to people and spend time with them, you just learn more and more incredible things.
Says,
he's on V26 now.
V26 now. V26. Martip, pre-flop investor won. Pre-flop investor picked up the win today on that NFT. Zero Doom coming with the €5. Great AMA. Keep the great work. Keep it. Just keep it.
There you go.
Keep it up. Keep it up, I think is what he was going for there. But definitely appreciate you, brother. Man, oh man. But yeah, so a lot going on. I'm so excited the fact that it's out and live, and now we get to play with it and use it, and not just kind of wait and
just talk about it, right?
And it was one of the things. As soon as I saw it in March, I was like, yeah, I need this. And the first time I saw it, when I saw it in Dubai, I was like, yeah, this is going to make my life as a streamer so much easier, because anybody has a question like NGN has been popping in pretty heavily the last few days, the last week or two. I'm able to pop that in there and check out a score. And so it really does help out like that as well. So from my side, that is really one of the things I'm excited about. And then you take it off stream and you go into an investor mode in like the wallet mapping and just all of the information that you get is pretty dang solid.
Well, you know what I say, right? Like it's, knowledge defeats fear, right? So what is fear? It's the lack of knowledge. So if you are able to grab that knowledge and absorb that knowledge, you're far less fearful. You're far more comfortable because now you know what to look for. You know what to understand. You know what to expect, right? And I think in a lot of cases, a lot of people who went through their first, market last time, first bull run at least, there was mistakes made by a lot of people, and there always is going to be because the knowledge isn't there. But as soon as that market turns, the fear you see in people is incredible, because it's, why is this happening? Why does this happen? Why does this happen? And then you start seeing the patterns. And that's the thing I'll always say is it's everything around you is patterns. And if you can recognize patterns, you can work within them. So a bear market is only part of a cycle, right? It comes back around, and then it's a bull run, and then it cycles again, back out, and then back in and back out. And the more that you can observe these things and absorb that information, the more comfortable you are in the space, because you already know, oh, well, you know what? It's been 6 months of a bull run, probably a, bear market coming up. I can start preparing. It's one of those things that knowledge is everything. It really helps with everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the things is we've been, we kind of went through the trials and tribulations of the last turn of a market. That cycle going from, when every day was a great day. Every day on YouTube was a great day. Everybody was happy. It was happy-go-lucky. It was green candle after green candle.
It was a lot of rocket emojis in YouTube.
Facts. Absolutely. When Lambo was a real question, and everybody was like contemplating, like every sort of like Googling, well, how much is a Lambo? Let me like, what do I really need to get to? We're in a
I'm only, a 10x away from the Lambo. Like that's not that far.
2 zeros away, and I got it. You know what I mean? Like, and then now we're looking at it like, oh God, like what happens? But now we understand a little bit more. We know what happens. We know what to look for. We know what happens when the cycles are about to kind of transition.
Yep.
So it's going to make us that much better. And like you said, preparing once that bull market hits. Right now, we're preparing for the bull market. When the bull market comes, we're going to start preparing for the bear market.
Exactly.
And so it's one of those things where you're always in preparation mode. You're just in preparation mode for depending on what the cycle is coming up.
Now, I will say this. As we start barreling towards the bull market sooner. We're still a little bit off. Obviously, there's still work to be done, but as we start barreling towards it, as an investor, this is the most exciting time for you. If you're running the bear market, like if you're working in the bear market, if it's your first bear market, you may not, you may sit back, you may relax, and that's fine, but still pay attention to what's actually happening. Watch the cycle as it starts to shift, right? Watch as the government starts to pivot, right? Watch as all these things start lining up, and then watch the markets react to it. And then what you do is you sit there and you wait, right? Or you do work. You start picking up, start diversifying, start grabbing some stuff you want while it's still on sale. But then when it starts going up, that's when you get to sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy the ride.
Absolutely.
And then it's a lot less stressful because you're not like, oh, I should have bought in. Should I have this? Do I have this? What do I need? No, you can just put your feet up and relax.
And when it hits, then it's one of those things where like you're just waiting for your point. You're just waiting for that price point. You already, I say it all the time on my channel, it's one of those things. If you plan your trade, then all you got to do is trade your plan. And it really does help out with that emotional roller coaster. But once you're done, your position's where you're at, you hit that goal. You're able to sit back and just kind of wait, just like watch it. It really is cool.
And I'll tell you, with this, the way this bull market's starting to form up, like what we're starting to see technology wise, what we're starting to see, early days of kind of signs of what we're going to see, what the next big thing is. It's probably going to be AI driven projects, obviously. So be careful because the scammers know this too. So if you go on Dex Tools right now, there's 1,000 new pairings for AI tokens. Most of them don't last the day, right? So you got to be, paying attention, doing research, and, just preparing.
Yes, sir. Steve coming in with a $15 I don't know what the A is on that.
Australian.
Australian. Thanks for the Aussie dollars. Appreciate you. Thanks for hosting such a great AMA. Man, appreciate it. It's really easy to have what I think is a great AMA, just because when you have solid people on and solid projects, it's pretty easy to have a decent AMA.
John says gaming and mobile as well. I believe so. Yeah. That started to develop at the end of last bull run. So it's probably going to increase significantly in this bull run. And then its real kind of peak will probably be not this bull run, but the following one. And then it'll probably peter out a little bit. Where the kings of the kings are at the top and everything else just dies off.
It's one of those things where I've noticed, like, it's usually like the things that were hot at the very end of the last cycle are usually the first things to kind of take off and pick up steam moving forward in the next cycle. So,
or if you have a huge catalyst like we do right now with AI, right? Like,
right.
All of a sudden, if you were to start a crypto project today, you find a way to utilize AI and you can get it up before the start of the bull run. So you got maybe a year and a bit, right? If you can pull that off, you can grow like a maniac at the beginning. Like it's going to be insane, but it's starting to run out of time for the development of that. That's the only thing I would say.
Yes, sir.
Now, I will say, just a little, inflate my head a little bit. We were doing an AI token before it was cool. So just saying.
When AI was not even a thought, you were the guys out there thinking about it.
Yep. Well, it's one of those things you could look out and see it, right? You could see that you can use data science to solve problems. And it was only a matter of time until it became public, and it was really only ChatGPT and things like Midjourney and DALL-E 2 that really brought it forefront, where people are having fun with it. They're actually enjoying it. So it was one of those things that AI was always a great utility. It's just, it wasn't so public and upfront, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Little Tight coming in with a 1969. $19.69 super chat. Just cuz. Man, appreciate that, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Justin, you real quick has maybe talk about UForge a little bit. You got a little update or something on UForge for us?
So as far as it goes, if you haven't been around the project that long, we are developing our own NFT marketplace to kind of go up against OpenSea's. This came down to when we first launched our project. Every time we tried to do something on OpenSea's, it was a nightmare. It crashed. You couldn't buy something. There was this problem, that problem, and we knew we could do it better. So it was one of those things that we started developing it. We got an initial version done fairly early on, but then it took a back burner for the AI as AI was being developed. And then now what I'm feeling is as we're pushing towards the next bull run, I think NFTs are just going to get stronger, but there's also a lot of NFT marketplaces out there. So what I'm doing is I'm actually reworking the front end to make it look as good and as spectacular as Advantis AI is. So it's going to bring more features, more functionality, be tied to the AI, but also look like something that's new and shiny and not just a copy of a copy.
Magic Man P says super secret project. When?
Super secret. Still secret. It won't be super secret project when we make the announcement. It'll be the non-secret project.
It'll be the super public project.
Exactly.
We're just gonna
But it's coming. It's still in the pipeline.
That's what's up. Hansi says Dex Tool Killer.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. Starting development very soon. So, like I said, I think that is the next kind of utility within the Advantis umbrella that makes the most sense. And I think that once again, it benefits both sides. So the AI will benefit from having the tools there from the Dex kind of tracker, but also, being on that one site to check your charts, to check your price, and then have the AI sitting right beside you, telling you exactly about the project you're looking at. I mean, I think there's a lot of amazing value there.
Absolutely. More education, more information to make better educated investment moves.
Exactly. And then what we can do from there is we can build like an aggregator, right? So not a DEX necessarily, but something that aggregates the sale through, right? And then provide tools, things like stop losses and stuff like that you would traditionally see on an exchange, but you can't get on a DEX properly. Be able to set up tools like that. So it just makes trading a more comfortable experience, if you would.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Well, chat, y'all got any more questions for him? I think we pretty much covered most of all the questions I had and all the questions we had earlier. Do we have a release date for the Pro? Is that
not yet? So what we're doing is we're knocking out the bug fixes from launch. So there was obviously some bug fixes that needed to go through. There's certain things that need to be tweaked. Once that's there, then we make the push to the app development. Once the app development's complete, that's when Pro comes out. And the app development should be a short cycle. And the reason why is because the whole thing is programmed in React.js, which is a version of JavaScript, which has become extremely popular for web apps. But also the benefit of that is it works really well within like Xcode and, with Android phones. So it's one of those things that now that we have the base, we can kind of just plug in the app. So it's going to be getting the app designed up nice and pretty and, making sure that everything works properly. But it's just literally plugging it into the APIs and the servers that we currently have.
Absolutely. Time Alone in the building. A1 since day one, something like a pimp. This guy right here is literally the one who, like, my very first night of streaming, he watched, it was Time Alone and me. That was it for like 90 minutes. So I'm here because of Time Alone. I ain't gonna lie.
There you go.
So anytime I see Time Alone, I always got to shout him out. And he says, what's up, family? Moonshot is the man. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another amazing AMA. Great job, all. Man, appreciate you. And congratulations on that win. Let me make sure see if I got you in the DM yet. Make sure you DM me with that, with your wallet address. I got you. Beautiful, beautiful. Alondar says, of course you think it's great pre-flop. You won.
Londart's just sad because like we've been doing like all the giveaways on his channel. And this was his chance to win.
Hey, brother, good luck. I've been doing this for a while, and yeah, it never fails.
So
somebody else always.
It was on, I think it was launch day. We decided that we were going to give away. Somebody was doing giveaway, and I think it was either for ETH. I think it was for ETH. And Matt was in chat, and he goes, "I'm going to put my name in, and if it wins, I'm going to double it." Right? And of course, what happens? He rolls it, comes up as Matt, and it was like, "Oh, of course it does." Yeah. It's
I've had to stop doing that on my channel because I'd be like, somebody will come in and be like, "Hey, we're gonna do this giveaway." I'm like, "All right, cool," and then I'll enter it because I want to retweet it, or I wanted to share it out. And I was like, if I win, we'll throw this much Grove onto, and next thing you know, it pulls me up, and I'm like,
yeah.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
We got Miss Moon coming in with a $69.99 super sticker. Miss Moon, I have a feeling I know who that is. Thank you.
That's the wife.
Thank you so very much. Definitely appreciate the super sticker there.
Who said that? Yeah, John said it. Yeah, she still listens to me even when I'm on YouTube. So.
Yeah, Miss Moon is in here. Yeah, I feel special. I don't know that I've ever seen Miss Moon like in chats.
Oh, she's there. She lurks and listens. And then she also really likes super stickers, as you can see. So she'll always, when she can, drop a super sticker on somebody's head. She loves doing it. So, when we're running our channel, she is very much trying to collect them all. But I think she's trying to help everybody else collect them all at the same time. So
that's awesome. I definitely appreciate the super sticker there, from Miss Moon. She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Puts up with just Moonshot. So
that logo, that I have was hand drawn by her. And then she made her version, right there that you see with the lipstick and everything on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she was the artist who did those.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Londar said I was doing an ETH giveaway. And then you say, if you win, you got to double it. Yeah. Gotta love those. Gotta love those.
Yep. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was an ETH giveaway. And then, so we do, every so often, we'll do gaming streams with our community. Like on a Tuesday night or something, we'll just, we'll pop like marbles on stream or something like that. And we did one for our members. And we did Fall Guys on stream, which is hilariously fun. Everybody jumped in. It's free to play now, so everybody jumped in. And so we're like literally beating the snot out of each other in this game. And Matt's like, okay, whoever wins this gets like 10 million tokens or whatever. And and he goes, but if Seeker or I win, we have to double it. And they literally went on a winning streak of like 5 games. So it was like, it got really expensive really fast. And it's like, Matt, you're supposed to be giving stuff away.
This Moon coming in with another $6.99 super sticker. She, like you said, she likes those super stickers and collecting all of them. Thank you again. Zero Doon has had this question, and I've missed it a few times. Do you know when the AI update is coming out?
So right now, the final bits are being put in. So it's all the, like we talked about this yesterday. There's some graphics changes coming up as well, just to make things a little bit easier to read. Those are being implemented right now. And the description stuff is being implemented right now. And then what will happen is it'll get pushed to the test server. So we have AWS servers. So we're able to scale and stuff like that, but we actually have our own version for testing. So it'll be uploaded to the test server first, verified that everything's working, and then pushed to the main server. As it goes to the test server, I'll probably make an announcement that we're testing it. And then you'll know exactly what day it's going to be up.
There you go. You got an update on the update. Update for the update.
The funny thing is with the servers is like we were like panicking because it was like we're getting near the end. We haven't done our maintenance page yet, and it's like, oh god, I need a maintenance page. We need a maintenance page. And like Steve, who's in here, he's like, hold my beer, and he makes it now so that we can update servers without any downtime by just rolling the servers over. and it's like there's no downtime. It happens pretty much instantly, and like, oh my god, that guy is like I don't know, like watching him work with AWS is like watching a master violin player play a concerto. Like it's the level of ridiculousness is awesome.
Yeah, you just sit back with your mouth open a little bit, like staring and watching a master at his craft.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Well, brother, you got anything else you want to make sure we cover today? Well, I think we covered a bunch of it.
I think we covered pretty much all of it. Other than, thank you for everyone for listening. I mean, you guys love coming and listening to me speak sometimes. At least I see a lot of people here that seem to. But, it's one of those things that, as we get the word out and we start talking more about it, I really appreciate the support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Chat, y'all got any more questions? We'll give you just a second. If you got them, put them in there. If not, we'll probably start to wrap this bad boy up here. We're at almost we're past the hour and a half mark. And it was a good hour. It does not, sometimes an hour and a half feels like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sometimes like an hour and a half feels like 30 minutes. That's usually what happens here.
I find when I'm streaming, it could be like 2 hours. I won't even know. But then I did the 12-hour stream. I definitely knew.
Anything over 2 hours, 3 hours, yeah, you start to notice. But that's how it was back in the day. Like when we first started, and it was me and Cuff starting at like 8 p.m. and going to like 6, 7 a.m. all night long, like every day, trying to get those watch hours. Oh, the grind was so fun. So fun.
Oh yeah,
let's
like
see here.
I remember like doing game streaming and like, it's gaming, right? So like you're going to sit down and play 4 or 5 hours, right? And it's like, you get to that like third hour and you're just like done. But it's like, yeah, but I already said I'm going 5. Right. And it's like, and it's funny because you can watch back your streams and you see your energy just go boom.
There's always that one game where like, you're like the big, when it hits, you're like,
that's it.
Yeah, today's over. Today is like, I don't need to play this anymore today because anything after this is going to be not pretty.
Yeah.
Not pretty. We got 2.5 hours until LDA stream. There you go. 2.5 hours until LDA stream going down. So be sure to check out the Lawn Dart over there for sure.
Lawn Dart Actual.
But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up and get on out of here. We definitely covered a lot of good information, talked about some updates, some things coming out. So I'm definitely excited for it, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on. And hopefully next time we can do this, we'll get Matt on here feeling better and we can have the whole crew on again.
Yeah, I know he was pretty upset not feeling well today because he loves doing these. But he needs his rest. So we're going to let him rest up a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing real quick, before we get out of here, one thing. I'm always a tarpy. So let it be known. Let it be known.
Love it.
I am a tarpy and will always be a tarpy and rock my rug hoodie.
There you go.
But yeah, definitely I could not have Advantis on and not play that video. I feel like that would be I feel like I'd be banished if I didn't do that. But yeah, another shotgun banger.
Well, the thing is, you got to be careful not to hurt Shotgun's feelings. I have seen him do revenge videos. So
trust me. I know he's always listening. He's like Santa Claus. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you are awake. And that's him. And if I always make sure to send high praise his way. So that I don't get turned into a meme video, because that's
yeah. But now you just said it. Now you just said it, so now he's gonna have to do it. See, there's the eyeballs. It's already there.
Yeah. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. It's already there. Oh man. Well, y'all, let's go ahead and get up out of here. I definitely appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with us, taking some time out of your busy schedules to come hang out here on the midday at a different time, but also get to hang out with Advantis and Just Moonshot. Get to learn a little more about what they got going on over there with their project, their utility that is out now live for the public, and it's free. Live to the public. It's pretty awesome. So if you are new to Advantis, make sure to go follow them over at Advantage Token on Twitter, and make sure you follow the link tree. It'll take you to all their good stuff you got over there.
Yep. But, and all of our socials are the same. So it's all Advantage Token. So our Telegram's Advantage Token, Reddit, you name it, everything's Advantage Token.
Absolutely. Well, brother, you got anything you want to close out with?
Well, like I said, thank you everybody for stopping on by, taking a listen, checking us out, and everyone from the TARP community, Advantage community. Yeah, I did it. I love you guys. Thank you for showing your support once again. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I know you guys know a lot of what's happening, and you're up to date. But I appreciate all the questions, and like we said, questions are always welcome in our community because we get a lot of ideas from our community. And we're able to execute on those. So it's one of those things, come talk to us if you have any ideas, and let's make this space a better place.
Absolutely. Well, brother, I definitely want to say thank you for coming and hanging out today, taking some time out of your busy schedule as a developer. I know that is something that is not thrown around and used lightly, is your free time. So we definitely appreciate you. And chat, man, I definitely appreciate it. This is one of the bigger chats we've had in a while. So I definitely want to say thank y'all. Thank you all for the super chats, all the love. Y'all are awesome. Y'all really are one of my favorite communities. My favorite. One of. Y'all are the best. I love the Tarpies. I will always be a Tarpie. Love y'all. But we are going to get out of here. Thank y'all again for coming and hanging out. We'll have to do this again. We'll have to run it back. And yeah, so appreciate y'all. Remember, there's two things in this world that you can control at all times: attitude and effort. Stay positive. Give 110% in everything you do. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Tell somebody you love them today. You never know. May change their day, their week, their month, or even their year. Appreciate that. Zero doing with the $2 euro on the way out. LDA stream in 2 hours. Don't miss it. Absolutely. See y'all over there. But we're going to wrap this one up, and I appreciate y'all. But we're going to get out of here. Love y'all. That's Just Moonshot, and I'm Just a Man, and we out of here. We Justins, and we just out. Peace.
Later.